Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law through this channel. I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 million. So if anybody's not aware of this is a genuine investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. Today's video, I'm going to be looking at MMTLP and some disagreements with regard to resolution. We're also going to be looking at the next broker after TradeStation to have the share count audit revealed, and also potentially another smoking gun. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you an update for ticker symbol AQST, which has also been featured previously on the channel. So let's first of all start by having a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from Yahoo Finance, a weak week for stocks doesn't necessarily mean a rough year ahead. So the final week previously has been very tough, but key events this week we can see here. US CPI inflation is due on Thursday. Initial jobless claims are also due on Thursday, but the key news is going to be the CPI inflation. I think if we get something positive there, then I do expect a very strong rally in the markets. We also have US PPI inflation on Friday, and it is going to be a bigger week now for earnings. We have JPM due on Friday, and also BACC and WFC. So an important week in the markets, and continuing with the theme of short selling and the ban in South Korea. So we can see here, right, headline here from Reuters: Indian regulators are to require short selling details from investors. So this is important, this is significant. I believe this is the third country after South Korea and Thailand. And what we can see here, what Kristen has stated is India is tightening its disclosure rules for short sellers. Naked short selling is already banned. So we're just waiting now for an update for the US. Finally, I'd like to share with you a comparison of the free cash flow history of pure EV makers. So if we have a look at the image here, we can see that Tesla currently has approximately $9.8 billion in cash. However, if we have a look at all the others, none of them have any free cash flow. So NIO, a deficit of $8.6 billion, Lucid deficit of $8.2 billion, Rivian, I think, is the worst, $17.6 billion. So I think this certainly shows that Tesla is way ahead of the competition. So have a look at news with regard to the second broker. So shout out here to INAPE, who just posted earlier the broker number 2 share count audit drops on Sunday, the 7th of January 2024. So if you have not already shared your MMTLP position in terms of any broker that you hold it with, and you wish to do so voluntarily, do so at this time. Go to the link there. One thing I would like to add is you are able to remove your personal details when you share your information. And in terms of who this second broker is, I believe the second broker is RBC Canada. So we'll wait for confirmation of that. But one of the questions from Asan was which one is for Trading 212? I think it's been a while since I did that, but wouldn't mind doing it again. So the instructions here, if you are unsure, please click the link again, fill out the form again. If there are any duplicates, they're going to be merged or edited or deleted if necessary. So for Trading 212, so far the audit has revealed 141,840 shares. Let's now have a look at the disagreements with regard to resolution and the final price of MMTLP. So what Johnny Tobacco has stated, we're looking at 165 million shares. When the stock closed, it was indicating 500 to 2,000 post-market on the 8th of December and pre-market on the 9th of December. So a minimum, I think it's worth $8, which is $8, which is $1.3 billion. Could be much more, but to me, this is a fair number. So this is where we have had significant disagreements. I also personally disagree with Johnny on this. I certainly think that figure is way off the mark. What K. Kep has stated, account for the supply and demand of a share as a multiple on top of the approximate value of oil and gas. The asset is much more developed now compared to 2022. You can also look at the opportunity cost, as they've had my money to work for over a year. So in terms of what we mean by opportunity cost is if we have made a sacrifice, so basically by tying the money up in MMTLP, what investors could have done, for example, they could have invested that money in Meta, they could have invested that money in Nvidia and made returns well in excess of 100%. So that is also potentially a significant loss. So what Gandalf has stated here is, don't be so quick to quote $8, Johnny. Help us prove the imbalance. Let's not get involved with price targets. Let Nexbridge Hydrocarbons decide that. And I think this is a great point. I think any discussions on the price will lead to disagreements, and it's better not to do that. Let's leave that in the hand of the company and especially Greg McCabe. So it states here, but what is stated Gandalf here for clarification, as you can see in these screenshots, the price per share of Nexbridge Hydrocarbons is $102.82. So that's a screenshot that he shared showing that potential price. So obviously what we're saying here to Johnny is the $8 price is certainly not fair. $2.90 should not even be discussed. But what Gandalf also goes on to say is you cannot quantify the potential fraud amount until you know how big the problem is, and that's why we want the share count. They can help by advocating for a share count. Again, that's what Gandalf has just stated, and as you have already suggested, the maths indicates a minimum in terms of the damage should be in the billions. So that there's a different way of phrasing it rather than quoting $8 a share. So let's not focus on that because obviously that is not what the assets are worth. So the good news here is Johnny is now focusing on more important aspects of due diligence, and what he's looked at here is a comparison of OST, dividend and MMTLP. So it's good that he's finding out here that the common factor here was Ari Rubenstein of GTS. He listed OTC dividend May the 7th, 2020, and what Johnny has stated, it looks like the dividend was distributed shortly thereafter, and the stock went from $15 to $100. So it's important to do this kind of research and find out who the nefarious actors are rather than speculating on a share price that no matter who says they want this much, it's not yet going to have an impact. So a good post here from Trevor is some trading data on the first month of October 2021. GTS was way out on its own in terms of the volume. So good identification here. Looking at the volume and the nefarious actors, we can see Canaccord on there. We can see obviously GTS in terms of Ari Rubenstein. So obviously they were involved heavily in the creation of this ticker. And let's have a look at another example from Resolution potential price from Meta News, who stated in January last year, the Canadian broker Scotia T Trade valued MMTLP at $137 a share. This occurred to multiple Canadian shareholder accounts. So the big difference here from $137 to $8. But again, it makes no difference what me or you or anybody else says. We're going to wait until obviously our first offer or potentially getting an indication from the company and Greg McCabe. And then I believe it is the right time to discuss the actual resolution. And finally, I'm going to finish off by having a look at ticker symbol AQST, also known as Aquestive Therapeutics. This is a stock that has been featured previously on the channel on a number of occasions, so I have been reminded by a number of viewers to look at this again. So Jimmy has also asked the question AQST. CT We Buy Homes has also stated that AQST is making a comeback and it's got a $12 price target and could be setting up for a big run back over to $4. And also Lamara Loves You has stated AQST FDA coming later this year. And I've also had a comment here from Makatak, who stated, Ali, please have a look at AQST and have an update on that. So let's start by having a look at the chart. I'm going to first of all look at the 6-month chart for AQST. We can see close of play on Friday, it was up 3.54% and closed at $2.34. But if we look at the 6-month chart, we can see it is up in excess of 41%. At one point, it was up early December in excess of $2.60, and it was trending down. from period just prior to October, and it got to a low around about $1.30. But if we now have a look at the 1 year chart, we can see over the previous year, at one point it was trading 12 months ago around about 80 cents. So it was probably at risk of NASDAQ warning, but it has made a strong comeback, and from April it has gained some positive momentum. So over the previous 1 year it is up in excess of 151%. So I certainly think there is some positive developments here. So let's have a look at the product pipeline, and we can see they have a number of license programs there already. So the company are obviously successful in their approvals. They have complex molecule programs there currently in phase 1 and phase 2, but the one that I think is going to be the huge catalyst is Libervant. We can see that that one is a phase 3 trial. We're expecting news on that in 2024 this year. So that news is going to be the huge catalyst that we know it's not yet announced. But let's have a quick reminder for everybody in terms of AQST and what kind of company they are. They specialize in innovative drug delivery technologies, sublingual and oral soluble films, including Listerine strips. The company has diverse pipeline, which we've just seen, targeting epilepsy, Parkinson's disease and other rare diseases. They have a strong record of success with the FDA, so it's not come through yet for Libervant, but there is confidence in there. The company is profitable, which is excellent, and again, especially for a penny stock in the bio sector. He is experiencing revenue growth. It's maintaining a strong balance sheet and a healthy asset to debt ratio, so obviously it's financially stable and sustainable. It has good, strong intellectual property portfolio, positive clinical trial results, and price targets we've just seen have increased, ranging from $6 to the highest of around about $24, with an average of $14. So 2024 is the year where they're looking at potentially 2 upcoming FDA approvals scheduled, and also ongoing success. So AQST is certainly going to be a stock that we will continue to watch. And if you would like